Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Appalachian Monsters and Mysteries. I'm Belle.
And I'm Miley.
And it's season 3!
Woo!
We've made it 3 seasons. Granted, we pick when our seasons end to begin.
Yeah. But hey, we're still on season 3, so I think that's pretty good.
That's right. We've come out with 30 episodes. Cheers to 31. Wow. This is 31.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it is about something pretty close to home. It is about one of West Virginia's most prolific serial killers, Harry Powers.
I had never really heard of Harry Powers before the episode and before we visited the penitentiary.
Yes, because as my shirt says, West Virginia Penitentiary, that is where Henry ended up. Harry. I keep wanting to call him Henry for some reason. It's the H's and the R's for me.
Yeah, it'll get you.
So, he actually wasn't born Harry F. Powers. He was born Harm or Herman Drenth on November 17th, 1893.
Harm?
That's
even worse.
Harm. His name was Harm.
Okay, well, I guess it makes sense that he became a serial killer then.
I mean, in retrospect, knowing what we will soon find out, his parents honestly named him pretty spot on. Sadly.
Well.
He was born in Breda, Netherlands. He immigrated alone in 1910 to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Then his family came over the next year in 1911.
How do you go from the Netherlands to Iowa to West Virginia?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Doesn't really give much backstory into that.
Okay.
So in 1926, Harm, good old Harm, moved to West Virginia. There's not much that the internet could tell me about old Harm until June 1st, 1927, when he was married to Luella Strother. Harm was her second husband, and we will go into her first husband more. It's a freaking doozy. Okay. Luella was the owner of a farm and as well a grocery store.
She owned it?
Yeah. So I'm thinking
that's what I'm talking about.
Whatever happened to her husband, she inherited it.
That makes sense.
But nonetheless,
still, go her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They met through Harm answering her Lonely Hearts ad. Now, if you're like me and vaguely knew what a Lonely Hearts advertisement...
I've never heard of that before in my entire life.
Well, let me give you some insight.
Please.
It's basically Tinder or Bumble, but without the pictures, and it's in a newspaper.
Oh, that sounds horrifying.
So people will write things like 25-year-old female looking for a hot Chicago Cubs player, preferably first baseman, and then they'll put their address.
We're talking to you, Rizzo.
This is my Lonely Hearts ad, even though I'm definitely married and so is he.
That's okay.
Okay.
I just think about how sketchy Bumble and Tinder are now.
With pictures.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like for the most part, you can tell when a profile is
fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a newspaper?
Yeah.
With no pictures?
No pictures.
No, thank you.
People were lonely and desperate back then.
Yeah, I guess.
So, commonly what the ads really sounded like was a 40-year-old widow looking for a companion in life, interest in matrimony, and then they would still put their home address, which, I mean, you're asking someone to murder you at that point. This all started in the 1600s. What? And I mean, it's still going on. Craigslist.
Yeah.
Craigslist has ads like this. Most of the time now it's for sex. It's not really for companionship.
Yeah, but still. I didn't know that this started so
1600s,
so long ago.
Yeah. People would put in the newspaper, be like, I'm sad and lonely. Please marry me.
The old-timey Tinder.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Crazy.
Scariest Tinder of them all.
Yeah,
That's
really.
saying something.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is that Harm did, in fact, meet his wife through these ads. I mean, that's how they met.
Congratulations.
He also met his victims in this manner as well.
Oh.
Harm and Luella lived in Quiet Dell, West Virginia, which is in Harrison County, which is where me is from.
Wow.
I am from there. I'm from Harrison County. I was born in Bridgeport at the hospital. UHC.
You said I was born at the hospital. I thought you might be born on like a bus or something.
Unfortunately,
in the woods. I don't know.
I was born in the same hospital that my mom was born in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Good old UHC, United Hospital Center. They have a new hospital now. It's very pretty.
Oh, wow.
And my the doctor who delivered me only recently retired. Shout out Dr. King. You don't listen to this podcast because you're old. You might though. I don't know.
Maybe one day.
But yeah, Harrison County. My mom knew who he was. She points that out to me every time I bring this man up, which is more than I should. Yeah. She didn't know him because, 1931 is when he started killing people.
Okay, yeah.
But she heard about him all her life.
Oh.
Yeah,
How
crazy.
Cool.
At some point, he did change his name to Harry Powers.
I don't blame him.
For the life of me, I cannot find out when he did it.
Well, if my name was Harm, I would also change it.
Yeah, or Herman.
Especially if I decided that I was going to kill people.
Become a murderer.
That's just, you're basically just warning people.
Yeah.
It defeats the whole purpose.
I was about to make a joke, but I stopped myself.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
You're welcome, world. So after Harry Powers was married to Luella, he put out his own Lonely Hearts ad and quickly began receiving many letters. The Postal Service reports that it was 10 to 20 replies a day.
What?
This man was like Santa Claus.
Why?
Of sad and lonely women.
There aren't even any pictures. I didn't even know if he was hot. What did he put in that ad to have
Not
so many?
Not everybody is as shallow as me and you are.
I guess.
Genuinely, I don't know. I couldn't find his ad, or anybody saying what it was.
I bet it's still out there
somewhere. Obviously, this man was just swooning people off their freaking feet. Yeah. His first victim was, it's spelled Asta. Asta? That feels rude. Asta Eiker, a widowed mother of 3 who lived in Park Ridge, Illinois.
Illinois? What?
Go Cubs. Harry began writing to Asta under the pen name Cornelius Irvin Pearson and eventually traveled from West Virginia to Illinois to meet Asta and her children, Greta, Harry, and Annabelle.
He left his wife to go meet another woman.
Yeah, I assume he didn't say, "Hey, Luella, I'm off to meet a woman."
Yeah.
He probably was like, business trip.
Yeah, that's always.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. And they met on June 23rd, 1931. After arriving there, that was a Tuesday, fun fact. I don't know why I looked that up. I was curious.
Okay, well.
It was on a Tuesday.
Okay. Is that, I don't know when people go on business
trips.
I
imagine, I don't know when planes started doing plane stuff. So I assume he drove.
Yeah.
Because I'd say the closest airport was probably in Charleston.
Or Wheeling. Wasn't Wheeling the first capital of West Virginia?
I thought it was Elkins.
I don't think.
Or is it Wheeling?
I think it's Wheeling.
Maybe. There could have
bringing
been
out my
there.
old academic bowl knowledge that I went to for I
had to take
5
West
years.
Virginia history.
Yeah, I did too.
That's why I know that the state bird is a cardinal.
Yeah.
Our state fish is some kind of trout.
Brook trout.
Wow.
Our state insect is a ladybug.
We don't have a state dinosaur, sadly.
Do other places?
Yes.
What?
Washington does. A few states, 15 states, have a dinosaur.
That's so weird.
It's very cool. Our state flower is a rhododendron. You guys are now getting West Virginia history lessons.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about this before, though.
I think the animal's a black bear, if I'm not mistaken.
It is a black bear. Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
So after arriving there on a Tuesday, he went away with Asta, the mom, leaving the children with Elizabeth Abernathy, whom I assume is a family friend.
Let's hope it's not a stranger.
I guess. A few days later, Elizabeth received a letter from Cornelius, a.k.a. Harry, a.k.a. Harm.
A.k.a. Hey. Oh, yeah, you just said Harry.
This man was coming to get the children to be with their mother. When he arrived, he sent one of the children to the bank to withdraw money from Eiker's account. The child returned empty-handed because the signature of the check was forged.
Oh.
Powers and the children then hastily departed. He told the neighbors concerned about their disappearance that they were on a trip to Europe. So obviously airplanes were definitely functioning at the time.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know the history of airports. I mean, well, airports or airplanes.
Either. Yeah,
I know that Denver has a crazy airport.
I don't know much about airplanes either. The Wright brothers. I know them.
Amelia Earhart.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, that's all that's all the knowledge I have.
Agatha Christie was married to a pilot.
Oh, yeah.
He was a scoundrel.
True.
So all of these people disappeared and were never found.
The kids too?
Turn. All three of them.
Oh, I was not prepared.
It gets worse. Then there was Dorothy Pressler Lemke. Lemke. Lemke.
Good enough
a
for
single
me.
woman who had posted a Lonely Hearts ad in Northborough, Massachusetts. This man just went to all the states that I want to visit, but then he murdered people.
What?
Yeah, this one was from Massachusetts. And it takes a long... I mean, again, I assume he flew.
What
Nonetheless...
kind of newspaper was this?
I don't know, big one.
I just assumed that, I just
like
assumed
a
that it was...
local newspaper?
Yeah.
What if this was like the New York Times?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I would want to be called the New York Times killer then.
That is insane.
Yeah,
that you could even just
Massachusetts.
put your name out there in such a
I wouldn't want that many people to know my address.
Yeah, me either.
People were a lot more trusting back then.
True. And we see where it got them. That's why we trust no one.
It got him murdered.
Yeah.
So he brought her to Iowa to marry her. Not West Virginia. He drove her all the way to Iowa, which, or flew. I don't know. Still a long freaking ways from Massachusetts. So I assume he went back to Cedar Rapids where his family was at.
Yeah.
His wife, Luella, must have just not cared.
I guess not.
So he persuaded, or better worded, conned her into withdrawing $4,000 from her bank account.
Oh.
Harry then sent her trunks and luggage to his home in Quietdale, not Iowa, like he claimed he was going to do.
Oh.
But he sent them under the name Cornelius Irvin Pearson, not Harry or Harm. This is under the same alias that he used to catch old Asta Eiker, too.
Yeah.
So Dorothy didn't catch any of this. Didn't catch that her luggage was being sent to West Virginia. Didn't catch that he used a different name. Anything. And she was never seen until a month later.
Oh.
No, this is still sad. No. Don't get your hopes up. In August of 1931, the disappearance of Asta and her 3 children began to receive some attention. Their first suspect was, to no one's surprise, Herman Harry Cornelius, because he has 1,000 names at this point.
Yeah.
And he was emptying out the Eiker home. After searching the home and what little was left inside of it, the police discovered love letters addressed to Pearson, which is this man of many names, at his home in Quietdale, not long after he was arrested in his home in West Virginia.
Okay, I was like, all right, he's emptying out the home, maybe to try to get rid of evidence, but yet he leaves the letters with the address of his home in West Virginia.
So I assume that Luella never got the mail if he was sending all these letters. Granted, we have to go to a post office here and pick up our mail, and Dustin knows when I've ordered something that I didn't want him to know that I ordered, because I will wake up and be like, I'll go get the mail. Other than that, I'm like, please God, go get the mail. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
But whenever I order like a book, I'm like, oh, bright and early, gotta go get the mail. And Dustin's like, oh my gosh. And I come home with like arms full of books, and I'm like, who bought these? So after his arrest, a lot was uncovered about this horrible, horrible man. First was the crime scene, or crime scenes, better yet. 4 rooms underneath Powers' newly built garage were found. And what was found in them is rough. Bloody clothing, hair, a burned bank book, and a small bloody footprint believing to have been that of a child.
Oh, no.
It was then discovered that Powers had robbed, tortured, strangled, and ultimately murdered his victims in these rooms. He would keep personal items from his victims after the crime as well, which a lot of serial killers do that. At least one victim was tied or bound or otherwise restrained while he was killing them. As they were conducting his arrest and the search of the home and the car, a 15-year-old boy had informed the police he had helped Powers dig a large hole on the Powers property. Beside the garage, police dug up the bodies of Miss Eiker and her children. The 2 girls, Greta and Annabelle, 9 and 14, had been strangled, as well as their mother, Asta. The head of the boy, Harry, who was 12, was beaten in with a hammer. His head was beaten in, yeah. Dorothy was also found there with the belt in which she was strangled still around her neck when she was found.
Ew.
Yeah.
What a disgusting human being.
It's awful. Especially, it's not right to kill anybody, but the kids.
Yeah, really. Why?
They were like 9, 12, and 14.
I mean, he robbed the women.
Yeah.
So, I guess that might have been motive to kill them. But why the kids?
Yeah.
He literally had her.
A babysitter.
Yeah, exactly. Why?
And it's not like the babysitter knew where he lived.
Yeah.
So the investigation of Harry Powers continued. They found out more than you would expect, especially about his wife, Luella, whom he met through these ads.
Mm-hmm.
They learned she had been divorced by a man acquitted of murder in 1903. This woman has a type.
Yeah, see, I was wondering. I was like, why did he not kill her? Why? But maybe.
So they tried to connect her.
Yeah.
With the, because there was checks forged in Miss Eiker's account,
mm-hmm.
which was Asta, the mother. And there was also letters written to relatives of Dorothy Lemec.
Mm-hmm.
She's also the one who paid for the construction of the new garage.
Oh. With the room under it, right?
4 rooms. This was a big garage.
That is a huge garage.
Yeah.
So she...
I think she was involved.
Yeah. How could she not be?
What I'm about to read, the more you find out, of her not being involved is so unlikely. Let us know what you guys think. We are curious.
Yeah.
Police elsewhere were investigating Powers' courtships and murders. Learned he had been about to marry yet another woman because he apparently married
I forgot. I forgot you'd even said that.
Yeah.
Is that why he had to go to a different state to marry the one?
Probably.
Did they have... How does that work? How did that work?
I assume it was the 30s.
Could you have married multiple people in the same state? What kind of records did they have? Yeah, probably.
I feel like they would know. That's probably why he went to different states and did it.
Maybe. Okay.
'Cause there's polygamy laws and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he had stolen from a bunch of other women too throughout this.
Surprising.
It was discovered he had been in roughly 115 mail order relationships. This man, what a multitasker. Can you imagine being in 115 different relationships?
And you're telling me that Luella didn't know about any of them?
Exactly. 115 where you're mailing stuff back and forth. You don't think she's going to be like, honey, came back from the farm, got the mail.
You have all these letters
from
totally
women.
Innocent.
Only women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you about them or anything. I trust you.
So multiple love letters were found in his vehicle during the big search that they did. I feel like Luella knew.
She had to have.
Yeah, for sure. Shortly following his arrest, Powers received 2 black eyes and bruising from allegedly falling down the staircase during his questioning.
Oh, hey, you know, crap happens. You know?
As you know from the West Virginia Penitentiary episode, cops weren't gentle in old Dub V back in the day.
Well, you know.
On September 20th, 1931, a lynch mob attempted to take Powers from the jail, and they were dispersed with fire hoses and tear gas.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they were going to murder him.
Oh, boy.
Powers was then moved to the West Virginia State Penitentiary, or as I call it, the Moundsville Penitentiary.
Yeah. Our true home.
Yeah, the one place where I feel no fear.
Yeah, oddly
enough. This is another weird name. It's Barratt. Barratt.
Sure.
Barratt O'Hara, a Chicago criminal attorney, flew to Clarksburg and said he would be defending old Herman, Harm, Harry, Cornelius.
Why?
He refused to tell who had sent him and who had paid for his services.
Yeah.
Clarksburg authorities, fearing an insanity plea, because that's what most
was it Luella?
It's a possibility. Wouldn't surprise me.
If she was in on it and he saw this money from people, she would also have access to the money. And
yeah, totally. So the Clarksburg authorities imported alienist Edward Everett Mayer from the University of Pittsburgh and had him examine Herman Harry Harm. And he reported Powers is a psychopathic personality of the hyper perpetuary type. I don't know what that means. And this is when it gets kind of insulting.
Oh gosh.
Squat, pig-eyed, paunchy with weakened sexual powers. He is not insane, but he has been a borderline case all of his life. Powers is capable of knowing right from wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to insult his physical appearance, and then he was like, but yeah, totally, he's not insane. He's totally normal. Sure, he's a little squat and pig-eyed and kind of fat, but normal. Totally normal.
Than
that. Powers had a 5-day trial, and it was held at the local Moore Opera House in Clarksburg, which is where my family's from.
Wow. So many connections.
My family is from there. My family still lives in Clarksburg. Some of them. Well, Lost Creek. Shout out to the Creek. I bet no one really knows where Lost Creek's at. You see the sign on the way to Morgantown.
Yeah. I think you've pointed it out to me before.
I pointed out to everyone I am in a car with.
Yeah.
I love where I'm from, even though there's nothing there except a tiny gas station called CJ's. They sell Dippin' Dots there.
I love Dippin' Dots.
I love a good gas station, honestly.
Oh, me too.
I do.
Me too.
But yeah, they had to hold his hearing at an opera house because there wasn't enough room in the courthouse. Because that many people wanted to be there.
Yeah, they wanted to see him be convicted.
Be a paunchy, pig-eyed little man.
Yeah.
Numerous witnesses testified to the evidence in Powers' home that he had been with victims and picked up their luggage and so on. Like, these people had a ton of eyewitnesses. Powers also testified for himself.
Oh, boy.
On December 2nd, 1931, he was sentenced to death by hanging. So
death, bad. In this case, not as bad. You know?
He's a bad person.
Yeah.
So in 1932, 42 people attended his hanging.
42 what?
42 people attended it.
Was this whenever they had limits to hangings? I figured more people would be there.
Maybe. They hung him on the penitentiary grounds.
Oh.
Back in the, like, back area.
Yeah.
Do you remember where they showed us
the
that?
Basketball courts are now? Aren't there basketball courts?
No, it was over. If you were walking out of the penitentiary, I think it was over on the right. Or it could have been on the left. I can't remember. It was out in the field.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Not the weird, creepy church.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like it was maybe on the left of the field, but I can't remember.
All right, cool.
He wore a dark suit with a white pin with white pinstripes, snazzy, and a bright light blue necktie. He had on a white broadcloth shirt. They let him get snazzed up.
Yeah, really. What would you wear for your hanging?
Oh my God. I'd probably want like a really nice dress.
I would as well. I'm thinking maybe like a silk floor length dress with like a little slit to my knee.
Floor length. I want it to be black.
At first, I was thinking like, because this is basically my personality, like a bright, like dress covered in sequins. Yes. But now, no, I don't think so. I would want an evening gown.
I would want a floor length gown that was black, and I would want a black veil. And so then when I would scream out, when they asked me what my last words were, and I say, I'll haunt you all. Can you imagine how scared the people who would be in my hanging would be?
Yeah, that'd be terrifying.
Go over their shoulder to see this black form that is hopefully me, because I'll get to haunt people. Horrifying.
Yeah, pretty good. I think I would want mine. If I was tan, then white. I would want white.
It would look like a wedding dress.
That's okay.
Let's go marry death.
Yeah. Maybe
you would pull a America's First Female Serial Killer. What was her name?
Oh.
I can't remember now. We did an episode about her.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember.
She wore a wedding dress to get hung.
Lavina Fisher.
That's it. She wore a wedding dress to get hung.
Yes.
Because she thought she could trick him.
Dang it.
And then her husband was hanged.
Yeah. What a woman.
They really pulled a fast one on her.
I take it back. I wouldn't want to be another her. An evening gown. Yeah. Silk.
So he was really, he was so fancy. He had he was clean shaven. He looked great. The only thing he didn't have is his glasses, because he wore round, we'll post a picture of him on Instagram.
Was he attractive?
No. I mean, not in my opinion.
Yeah, probably not then.
He wore round tortoiseshell rimmed glasses. Yeah.
Gross.
Like some weird off-brand Harry Potter. They asked him if he had any last words, and he said no, which,
that's all I would be thinking about.
Right?
That'd be it. I'd want
Lavinia Fisher also had bomb last words. If you have any messages for hell, tell them to me now. I was like,
yes.
God, what a woman.
Wow.
A lot of people have cool last words. And I know a bunch of people's last words because of John Green.
Yeah. I don't know what mine would be.
But he literally, he chose not to. Then the chaplain who was there spoke a few words. And the stuff the chaplain said, I mean, I guess that this is a common thing, but honestly, it's creepy. I'm going to see if I can find it real fast. We commit Harry Powers' soul to thee and ask that thou pardon his sins.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Did he want his sins pardoned? Did they even ask?
No, I guess they just assumed. So then the black, death mask, the bag that they put over their head, was put over old Harry's head. Then they pressed a couple of buttons, and the floor dropped. And he died after 11 minutes.
Is that normal?
Yeah, I looked it up, and the normal rate is 9 to 11 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So he made it until the last little bit. He held out for a while.
Man, could you imagine just standing there for 11 minutes?
Yeah, because
watching someone
11 minutes isn't fast.
No, just watching someone slowly suffocate. Well, no, I guess. Are you suffocating?
Asphyxiation.
Yeah, so I guess that's
you're basically suffocating.
Ooh, I hate that. Too close to drowning.
Exactly.
11 minutes. That's a long time.
Because your esophagus is like getting all the pressure from it. And I don't even like for people to touch my throat.
Me either.
And so I feel like getting hanged would be miserable.
Agreed.
Naturally, like it is to die anyway.
Just cut my head off clean.
Okay.
A guillotine? Yeah. At least it would be immediate.
Yeah, I would rather die by guillotine too. Did you know that some people still blink?
Ooh, because your
brain
around?
still has a little bit of like activity, nerve endings and everything.
That makes sense.
But I mean, your body can move after you die. Before rigor mortis sets in, your body moves.
Ew. Hope I never witnessed that.
My mom has. My mom was a hospice nurse.
Oh, not somebody being decapitated?
No. No. My mom's experienced like dead people like moving.
Oh, yeah. I think, that happens a lot.
Yeah. She's definitely never experienced someone getting hanged or decapitated.
I'm very glad. I think that would be pretty scarring.
That would be weird. I don't know how my mom would experience any of that.
Yeah, me either.
It'd be creepy. I'd be concerned.
Me too.
So, that was the killings of Harry Powers.
Old Harmy.
He has 87 names.
Yeah. None of them are good.
No.
Cornelius?
I used to love the name Cornelius. Don't know why.
I don't know either.
It sounds like a smart dog.
Yeah.
If I had like a little English bulldog, I would name him Cornelius.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of cute.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for listening. Season 3. This will be on YouTube.
Yes.
Wednesday. Also, special announcement. Jacob, who was on our season finale, the last episode, his band Neverending Propaganda, woo woo, July 23rd, they're coming out with their EP. So make sure you go follow them on Instagram, and make sure that you give their 2 singles that they have out now a listen as well. Yeah. We got to support friends of the pod.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we listened to Ascaria at Passover. It felt fitting.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
What other music am I gonna play at Passover?
Yeah, I don't know.
We tried to listen to like Hebrew music, and Layla loved it.
Really?
Evie did not. Evie did not like it. But yeah, make sure you follow us also on Instagram at AMMPod, Twitter AMMPod1, TikTok. Maybe we'll make one day at AMMPod.
Facebook. Appalachian Monsters and Mysteries, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Monsters and Mysteries. It's not the letter and, it's the little symbol.
Yes.
And you might also have to filter it to where it's just channels. Because as of right now, if you type it in, it doesn't come up. So.
Yeah, until we get 100 subscribers, it won't come up automatically. So help us get to 100.
Yes.
And thank you guys for listening. We're happy to be back. Yeah. We've missed you all.
So much.
We've missed talking in rooms together to no one, but technically a lot of people.
Yeah.
Bye.